Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for checking out this video. Here on Show Style and Spirit, I am Ebony, of course. Of course, you see the title of this video, Martell Holt's interview with Tasha K. I so think that he's fired. Oh my gosh. We have a lot to talk about, so I definitely want to dig in. Now, before we get started, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. Even if you were to hit the dislike button on this video, it all works the same, meaning that YouTube will push this video through its algorithm and recommend it to more people who enjoy conversing about love and marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. The majority of my content is inspired by the lovely Melody Cherie and her hit reality TV show Love and Marriage Huntsville. I also, from time to time, talk about my natural hair care journey with my locks, and sometimes I do cover celebrity tea on other celebrities that are not on the show Love and Marriage Huntsville. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Definitely everything that I'm saying is my opinion and alleged. All right, so now Tasha K, before she cut to the interview itself, she was live in her intro, kind of like anchoring, like almost on the news. You know how she does. So she was saying that, things aren't adding up. How could Melody stay with him for several years? She used the number 7, only to let him go to his side bitch. That was what she called Ariane. But I just want to point out, Tasha, Melody left him. She actually went through a lot of measures to leave him. She had an infant with her that she had just given birth a few months prior, and she did what she had to do. And he got Ariane because that's the only type of chick that he can get. Don't make it seem like, he's with Michelle Obama now. This is Ariane that we're talking about here, who talks in detail about what they do in the bedroom in the most crass way. All right. So, but she had to like set it up and saying that, things aren't adding up. And, Melody kind of like lost him to Ariane when we all know that that is not the case. Then she actually showed his iNest wine commercial. That was the most hilarious thing. I felt like I had warped back into like the late 80s with In Living Color. And the commercial was giving 1980s Billy D. Williams. I thought like Billy D. Williams was going to pop out and Diana Ross, and it was like the preview for the sequel to Mahogany. I mean, that commercial was so dated, antiquated, and old-fashioned. If y'all not gonna watch this Tasha K interview, at least just watch the Inez wine commercial. It will be the laugh of your week, okay? I cannot believe that the Fletchers are in it. I had never seen this commercial before. The Fletchers are in it. The girl that's supposed to be like his love interest, she looks scared, okay? And then, the music is super corny. It gives 1980s, like the producer was trying to remake like a Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On or something, or Sexual Healing, but they definitely didn't make the cut. It's just super corny, and you will be cracking up. And people in Tasha K's chat, they were dragging Martell the entire time, but they were calling the commercial ghetto in 1979. It was hilarious. I'm going to see if I can just find the Inez commercial on YouTube. And like, of course, I won't be able to play it in any videos, but maybe I'll share the link so y'all can laugh because it was hilarious. Martell actually had the nerve to say that Ariane should get an own check, that she should get money, and that he definitely takes care of her and that he will take care of her forever and ever. Martell said that Melody does not have a storyline. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. First of all, if the producers for Love and Marriage Huntsville decided to go back to this show's original idea, she definitely has a storyline because she has multiple businesses and they are successful. And then the show would turn into a free course for all of us on how to take your e-commerce to the next level. So she definitely has a storyline. And she's a mom. So many people can relate to her on that level. She's obviously a working mom. She does speaking engagements. The cameras alone could follow her to her speaking engagements. Melody has multiple storylines that she could use, much more than the Scots 1.0 and 2.0. Martell said that, getting flown out and getting, I'll just say made love to, but he was using the word effed. He was saying that ain't nothing to brag on because Tasha K brought up, she said to him, Melody's dating people. So he tried to say, yeah, we're getting flown out to places and getting effed. That ain't nothing to brag on. Yeah, I know you're being a hater because you know that Melody would never date anyone who's broke because she knows her worth. So she would date a man that has the extra money, the disposable income after he pays his bills to fly Melody out on nice trips and to give her good D if she wants that. So don't be a hater, Martell. Martell said that he's the only cast member who was born and raised in Huntsville. And this was when Tasha K asked him about his childhood growing up. He said that he did not grow up with the fatherly support. We know that his dad was incarcerated, unfortunately. He said that all five of his kids are good. And he said that when Knox was conceived, that he and Melody were separated. His dad was locked up during his childhood, and he said that his high school athletic career is what led him to who he is today. Martell also said that he was a fighter growing up. When he was a kid, he was kind of bad, but once he became a teenager, he was like this high school athlete. And he said that, the man he is today is because of his high school career. So he said that he taught special ed for 2 years. Now, y'all, if y'all can remember this old biopic of Martell? It was like 6 or 7 minutes. It like resurfaced probably like 6 months ago. I just never believed that he was the teacher. I always feel like he was the teacher's aide in the classroom because in that biopic, he talked about how he would be on his phone because his grass cutting business took off. And he said that the principal of the school was irritated with him because he was always on the phone. Now, I have a cousin and two of my three god sisters teach special ed. I know you cannot teach special ed. You can't even teach regular ed and be on the phone all the time. So you mean to tell me, Martell, that you were a special ed teacher and you were on the phone constantly? I just don't see that happening. I think that he was the aide in the classroom to the teacher, and he was always on the phone getting new customers for his grass cutting business. And the teacher in the classroom complained about him to the principal. That's how I think that went, in my opinion. And Tasha K was like, wow, you taught special ed? And he's like, yeah, because I knew that earning my degree in special ed would make me more marketable. But again, I think that he was the aide in the classroom and he probably did learn from Melody. She probably taught him, yeah, like when you take on things like special education, there's not enough teachers in that area. So that is like job security. I do believe and agree with that, but I don't think Martell came up with that on his own. I think that Melody or someone else put him on game to working in special education, and I think that he was the aide. And Martell was like puffing himself up during this interview, saying how he takes care of all his kids and he was this high school class athlete. And he also said that he has a forgiving heart and he ain't smiling about anything regarding Melody. F that. So I want to say that the purpose of this interview was to definitely make Melody look bad. They were trying to make her look like an abuser, a bully, and a mean person. But all of us who have been watching the show and we support her, she's super interactive on social media, super spiritual, is not ashamed or afraid to share her belief and love for God, a great provider for her kids. We can see through the bull and see when he's just trying to make her look bad. And this was definitely one of those opportunities. So he did not want to say anything positive about her. So Martell was really refusing to answer the question when Tasha K asked, "What was it about Melody that made you fall in love with her?" He said, "No, I'm not going to say anything good about her. F that." I thought that that was very petty and childish. This is the mother of your four kids. At one point, you were in love with her to the point where you asked for her hand in marriage and you stood before your loved ones and promised God that you would take care of Melody Cherie Rogers. That was what you promised God that you would do. So why are you being so prideful and so angry, Mr. Forgiving Heart, that you can't even say anything positive about Melody? Get out of here. So he did confirm that his brother Montez is locked up right now. When Tasha K asked him, when does he get out and for what? Martell said that he does not know when his brother will get out, and he said he doesn't know for what. I don't believe that. I think that he just did not want to say for how long his brother would be in, because then that could kind of suggest the level of what he did. And he definitely didn't want to say what it was for. He said, he did admit to him and his brother having different dads. And he said that his mom, Marlene, never played favorites. And this interview, it did happen after his arrest for the Revenge P, allegedly Revenge P, DV with harassing communications. So he said that when he got arrested, listen to this. He said that he dropped Mariah off for tennis. And then he claimed that he went to the jail to get a document and was told that there was a warrant for his arrest. This definitely sounds like a lie. That is the most ridiculous story ever. You were going to the jail to pick up a document. What were you going to the jail for? When he said this to Tasha K, he didn't even say, "Yeah, I was going to the jail to get a document relating to my brother's case or so and so's case." None of that. I was going to the jail to get a document. And Tasha K didn't even pick the story apart. She just let him go willy nilly. Perhaps she could pick up on his energy. I don't know. And since he could get mad or something, so she just let that go. But I thought that that was ridiculous. Now I'm really convinced that he knew that he had to turn himself in, because all of the dots, they're just connecting a little too good. Just with the podcast tour, which we now know is damage control. We even have to see if Carlos will even do additional cities now. I think legit he called it a podcast tour, but it was literally to film on camera, him saying, "I didn't know that you were going through all of this." And then, Martell saying that he went to the jail to pick up a document. It just seems like it was planned, including having the kids with him when he has to do this so that he could tell this story and try to get some sympathy somehow. And then he said that the arrest was related to text messages from August 27th, 2022. We all know this because of the exchange on social media that summer. He said that he told Melody to stop bullying him. And he said that he sent her a picture. So I think that that's ridiculous. Tasha K actually took his phone and she read his text messages where that morning of August 27th, 2022, he asked Melody about a doctor's appointment for one of the kids. She said Melody ignored him. Then his next text message is, "Stop bullying me. If you keep it up, I'm gonna, really go in on you and show people who you really are." I'm paraphrasing, of course. And that just doesn't make any sense. So if she ignored your text that morning about the kid's doctor appointment, and then you sent her another text saying, "Stop bullying me," it looked like you were trying to provoke a response from Melody because she ignored the first text message that morning where you asked about the kid's doctor's appointment. So now you're just trying to bait her. And then when he says, "I'm going to really go in on you," Tasha K read the text response from Melody saying, "I pay more attention to threats." I pay more attention to promises than threats, I believe is what the text said. And then he's like, then I sent her a picture. And then the story gets kind of vague. It becomes a blur from there. But he said that nobody has seen any sort of sex tape with Melody. He said that she waited to press charges. So what, Martell? As a woman, and as a woman who's been sexually harassed on the job and stalked, it takes a while sometimes to speak up. Yes, it does. It's not easy because of all the pick-me's of the world. They want to pick everything apart and judge you, so you feel uncomfortable speaking up about that. And then with men like you who may try to take it a step further and be vengeful and still continue to attack, a woman is never just, bush-eyed and ready to, tell about being stalked and revenge P. I can't wait to tell it all. No, no woman is moving like that once she has been victimized that way. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Uncomfortable is the only word that I can come up with, but it's on another level. And in my opinion, any type of, sexual crime, we're all getting that uncomfortable feeling. We can all relate to each other if anything that you've experienced falls under that umbrella. So no, so what if it took her 20 years? There are people who are reporting being violated by some of these celebrity men, and it happened in the 90s and the early 2000s. So if she waited some months to report the revenge P, I think she moves very swiftly. Absolutely. Martell said that he's never hit Melody. Definitely, this interview was, meant to make Melody look like an abuser. Tasha K played a clip from a Dr. Heavenly interview with Melody. Dr. Heavenly has interviewed Melody like 3 times that I can remember. I even kind of did like some throwback videos where I gave commentary on like 2 of those interviews, I want to say. And I probably did that like last summer, like it's been several months now. But in the clip, Dr. Heavenly says, first she asked Melody, has Martell ever hit you? And she was like, no. She said, I'm not the type of woman that would just sit around and be abused. And Dr. Heavenly said, yeah, you a Scorpio like me. If anything, it seemed like you'd be beating some A. And Melody was like, thank you for saying that. And then so Tasha K pulled that clip to kind of like back up Martell. And Tasha K has kind of always had this energy. When I made the video a couple weeks ago saying that, she was speaking up for Martell, I was saying how I even used the example of Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez. Tasha K would try to like cover for Tory Lanez. So her covering for Martell is definitely not a surprise, but the disappointment still reigns supreme. But let me get back to my notes, child. So he said that Melody is big. So if this is not trying to be persuasive and manipulative, I do not know what is. So Tasha K is like, Melody's not big. Tasha K is thinking like, weight wise, waistline, thighs, stomach. Melody has a lovely figure and she's definitely not big. But Martell's like, Melody's like what, 5'7", 5'8"? You act like that's like Amazon. Shaquille O'Neal is like 7 feet tall. I know some women who are 6 feet tall. WNBA players are like 6 feet tall. Don't try to act like Melody is this huge person because you want to display, portray her as an abuser. He's so simple-minded and he assumes that the rest of us are as well. Martell said that the Scotts have made up storylines. That's definitely no shocker to any of us. Martell did not want to upset Ariane by saying why he fell in love with Melody. This is my opinion. So Tasha K kept trying to get Martell to say why he fell in love with Melody. He said he refused to say anything positive about Melody. And then I also felt like he did not want to fall out with Ariane. He did not want Ariane to watch this interview and get jealous. And then he don't get some for a few days. So he was definitely trying to make sure that he didn't say anything that would make Ariane jealous. He said that the show makes Melody look good. And he even tried to mention God. And he was saying that when he met Melody in class and he was dating her, that, God told him to be still. And y'all, I kind of feel like that was propaganda. Not only during this interview was he trying to make Melody look bad, but he was trying to make himself look good. And he definitely has some sort of burner account on Instagram where he's following all of Melody's content because he is literally trying to mention God and seem spiritual, just mimicking what she does, just like how she did her fast recently. Now he's trying to mention God and say, oh, he told me to be still while dating her. Okay, Martell. So then they're going back to court because he said that Melody wants the kids on social media and on the show. And he said that he got engaged 10 to 11 months after meeting. He said that they met, like, I guess, like for their January semester in college when they shared a class. And by that December, when she graduated college, they were engaged. And then they got married the following July. Martell said that Melody is taking him through some of the most trying times. But Martell, you must don't believe in the return of energy because you literally tried to get full custody of all four of your children with Melody. You tried to position yourself so that she would pay you child support. And even during this interview with Tasha K, you said that in Alabama, you would only get about $2,000 for four kids. And he was acting like that's, just not enough money. So he's obviously done his research on what he could get in child support if he were to have one custody. And you don't think that that was stressful and scary for Melody, but she's taking you through some of the most trying times because of the revenge P that you tried to launch allegedly. Get out of here. That is some trying times for her. And Tasha K did mention Carson. Like she said, is the arrest because of what Carson said? And he was like, nah, I don't even want to talk about her because she was just disrespectful. So he totally, diverted from any questioning with Carson. So Carson's like IG live that night, that must have been very significant, like a smoking pow pow for him to totally didn't even want to talk about her and they totally had to move on. Now, Martell brought up the child abuse allegation concerning Tank. He said that he painted the picture like Melody just went to her attorney with the abuse allegations after he started saying that she has 20 babysitters. And, now he has reduced that number to 11, saying that there's 11 babysitters at night, allegedly. He said that he spanked Tank, and he said that he's thinking that he probably told the kids, keep that up and I'm going to give you 25 licks. And then he said that when Melody picks up the kids from him, that she is manipulative and that she asks the kids a bunch of questions and picks everything apart and asks, oh, did anybody get in trouble? So that, Tank could have said that he got a spanking and probably mentioned the 25 licks. And he said, and instead of her calling me, she called the attorney. Well, why would she call you when the two of you are not together anymore? And you're trying to lie and say that she has 20 babysitters around the kids. And, the kids are coming home telling her that, Tank got a spanking. So he said that he lost his visiting rights. It was for 56 days, or, that's basically 8 weeks. He blamed it on Carnival 19, the huge thing that we went through in 2020. He blamed it on Carnival 19 that he did not have the kids for 56 days. And he said that the entire process was delayed. And I'm sure the court process was delayed, of course, but I'm pretty sure also that was not the only reason why you did not have the kids for those 56 days. And then he said when he got the kids back, that they were bad as F because he didn't have them. And he said, I provide structure to the kids. And he said, and Melody used to tell me that I ran our house like the military. Martell said that Melody has tried to press charges 5 to 6 times, and they were all for abuse. I thought that was so interesting. So, according to Martell, Melody has, involved law enforcement concerning him 5 to 6 times. Those are very large numbers to involve the police, okay? And they're all for abuse. That's not good. That's not good. Over and over, the same type of charge. And then allegedly, we've heard of trespassing as well. Now, he did say that they go back to court on January 30th. And again, I do think that that is for her desire to want the kids back on social media as well as the TV show. Martell said that Carlos asked them to be on Housewives. We know about this, and he said, no, I wanted to keep my wife. I believe Carlos King has said this recently. I think he said this during one of his conversations with Dustin Ross. So when they pitched their HGTV inspired show, Carlos King initially said, give me about a year to put it on. Then Carlos came back, basically counter offered them and said, if we do an ensemble cast type show, I could do it sooner. Martell didn't know what that was, and Carlos had to explain it to him, just basically like other couples. And it would just be like classic reality TV versus like a HGTV inspired show. My guess is, and this is my opinion, Carlos King does not have experience with doing the HGTV type shows, and he probably doesn't know anyone in that lane that he could have pitched the show to get it on HGTV. So he said, well, this woman Melody is gorgeous and articulate. Let me get her on an ensemble show and then it'll take off. He probably had the feels. He probably had that feeling inside, like, a reality TV show with her will be a big hit. So he was able to talk them into doing an ensemble cast type of reality TV show, and they brought on the Scotts. And, some would say that the rest was history. So, let me make sure that I am caught up on my notes. Okay, yes. So Martell said that Own and Carlos did not do Ariane right. He said, and he would not say names, that someone promised Ariane she would be on the show. He would not say who. In my opinion, it has to be Carlos. He just does not want to, he's not ready yet to totally throw Carlos under the bus. He's okay with trying to throw Melody under the bus and make her look bad, but he's not totally ready to sever his entire working relationship with Carlos. So he did not want to reveal, in my opinion, that Carlos promised Ariane that she would be on the show. So he said that, he set up where she would just be in a phone conversation with Martell. And he said that Ariane did get paid for that and that it was a pretty penny for just like a verbal phone conversation. Martell played a recording where he asked Melody how long since it had been since she had given another man oral. And she said 3+ years. So what, Martell? Out of the two of you who produced a baby outside of the marriage, it was definitely you. Now, Martell said that Ariane wasn't his side bitch, but she was his other woman. He told Tasha K not to disrespect Ariane. He said that Melody wanted to catch him cheating and wants to catch him today doing something bad. Well, Martell, it wouldn't be so easy for Melody to press charges and you get arrested if you did not give her reasons for her to involve law enforcement. If you did not give her receipts of, you trying to do something, then she wouldn't be able to catch you. I mean, that's just math. Now, I found it to be very interesting that he told Tasha K not to disrespect Ariane and to say that she was never the side chick, but his woman. I just feel like now he's just trying to super duper claim Ariane because of these charges and because I think this Negro is off of the show. All right. So Tasha K tried to say that if Martell was in an African or Middle Eastern setting, what Martell did would be okay. That is so not true, Tasha. I even believe in the polygamous sect. Those women, some of them are sincerely hurt when the man keeps getting additional wives and keeps having children with all of them. Some of them have to catch feelings. My goodness, it has to be for real love for at least some of those women. And like, I know plenty of Middle Eastern guys because here in the metro area, there's a large Middle Eastern community and they are all about family and getting married even in like their 20s, late 20s, and then they have the kids. Don't try and like put it on other cultures, then automatically what Martell did would be okay. Oh my gosh, the gaslighting is was just unreal. Now Martell said that he's a one woman man. Yeah, right. Okay. He said that he was a one woman man, y'all. I think again, he was saying things that Ariane would want him to hear so that she doesn't get mad at him and withhold sex. Now, Martell said that they moved Miss Van into their home at one point. He claimed that he did not have social media, but at one point, but Melody was always on it. And then he tried to say, looking back now, she probably did have guys in her DMs. Well, Melody is a beautiful woman. So if men were in her DMs, that's not her fault. That if she didn't have social media and they weren't in her DMs, they would just hit on her when she goes to the gym, to the grocery store, the gas station. I mean, that's how y'all do. That's how y'all roll. Now, he said that when Melody would be mad at him, she'd be gone for a couple days. Again, that's not a big deal, Martell. We all have to get away sometimes, especially from a knucklehead like you. He brought up when Melody said, go find a girlfriend. And that was the night that he met Ariane at the barbecue. He said that Ariane is the only woman that he cheated on Melody with. I definitely just do not believe that at all. Like, just allegedly, and in my opinion, there could have been one night stands. Just none of them have come forward because they don't want to look like, a slutty side chick. So they're being silent about their transgressions. Tasha and Martell said that Melody is selling Martell out, slash throwing him under the bus for money. Listen, Martell chose to step out. He chose to film a reality TV show. To me, he sold himself out. He threw himself under the bus. Perhaps he could still have his family today if he did not disrespect his wife and their vows and their kids and their household. Now, in my opinion, he is definitely jealous of Melody. Martell said that she does not know how long she'll stay on top. He even brought up Nene. But Martell, Melody is way smarter than Nene Leakes. She doesn't even complain about Carlos. Melody is self-controlled. I believe that Melody is not an idiot and that she has her issues with Carlos King. She even watches some of our content here on YouTube. She knows our thoughts on Carlos, and she is so professional and self-controlled that she doesn't even show an inkling of annoyance or anger towards Carlos. Whereas Nene, she literally went on her Twitter and said, Bravo and NBC and them are racist and, tried to sue them for it. So Melody moves totally different than Nene. And Melody is a whiz at marketing. She sells her products on her social media. She goes live on IG all the time, packing orders. She works hard. So, you wish, Martell, that you could try to speak negative over her, but your words, they just fall flat. And how about you don't know how long she will continue to be successful because you can't measure it. And don't even worry about what she's doing. You just get yourself together. And I do want to point out that when Martell said that and brought up Nene Leakes, it was after Tasha K asked him, where will Martell be in 5 years? What's your 5-year goal plan? And all he could do was bring up Melody and say, I don't, she doesn't know how long she'll be on top. And, I'm not trying to sell nothing online. And Tasha K was like, that was a dig because, she sells products. It's 2024. It's normal to sell things online. That's e-commerce. I've talked about the products that I've used on my locks. These young Black women, they are making money because the Flower Child Lock Care, she made an Instagram reel once. How did she word it? She was like, my business is officially a 6-figure business. So that's, making at least 100,000 a year. And she's like late 20s. She's a nurse. And so e-commerce is where it's at, Martell. The majority of my bedroom candy sales that I've gotten, it was definitely all virtual. Yes, I do vendor events sometimes, but people like the convenience of just ordering online. So why are you being a hater? You're trying to think of something that you can do online. You totally wish. Now, Tasha K brought up sweet tea from Married to Medicine. Now, this is her, of course, again, trying to speak to Martell's point of Ariane should be on the show. And she talked about how Sweet Tea is now the new wife of Dr. G, who is the ex-husband of Quad. Martell said that Melody would be scared that Ariane will take the spotlight. I thought that was insane. Ariane could never, okay, Martell, she could never. First of all, the fan base would totally stop watching Love and Marriage Huntsville if we saw Ariane on there. That would be a total disaster. And that Ariane could never steal Melody's spotlight. That was hilarious. That was laughable. Martell said he's not married, therefore he is not a stepdaughter to Ariane's, or I'm sorry, stepdad. Martell said that he's not married, therefore he is not a stepdad to Ariane's oldest child, her daughter, but he said that he does help with her sometimes. He said that Ariane is a good mom and that her oldest child is a straight A student. He said that he and Ariane have been together for 10 years off and on. And so Ariane, I was always taught like, maybe Ariane doesn't want to get married, but that's kind of like the danger zone to be with someone that long. But it doesn't sound like that's a priority for Martell. We're going to get to that in a moment. He assumes that Melody wanting dirty talk must have been due to someone else. So I thought that was interesting. So Martell, he really thinks of women in very simple forms. All those men on like Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bell Collective, they all think of women in very simple terms. And Martell was saying that because Melody had a desire for him to talk dirty to her, that she must have heard that from another man when she was allegedly cheating. Not necessarily so, Martell. If you never took the time to get to know your wife sexually, then you just never knew that she liked to be talked dirty to. So that was something that you were supposed to find out, but you were so self-centered in the bedroom that you never knew that. And even once you did know, you refused to talk dirty to her. So that was all your bad. He said that he is the only cast member who has confessed to cheating. He called the Scotsmen a-holes and said he did not see the Scotsmen having intercourse with women who weren't their wives. So then Tasha K said, but you've seen them like out on dates, I'm paraphrasing, and he would not confirm or deny either. Then Tasha K asked, was it true that he was thinking about getting a DNA test concerning Sugar Mama? And he said no, but then he shades Melody and says, but she looks exactly like Melody and my other 3 kids, you see some of me in them. And he said that if any of the Eminem kids weren't his biologically, that he would not care. He wouldn't even want to know that. They would still be his. And he said that people can fake it during interviews. I thought that was such an interesting thing to say. That is not the normal thing that I've ever heard. And like, I've always wanted to be a journalist. So, like, even when I was a kid, like my mom would watch 2020. I would watch it with her. I've watched like Barbara Walters interviews, Oprah interviews, even this day and age between Tasha K, Dr. Heavenly, Carlos King. I mean, you name it, other YouTubers. Like no reality TV star or public figure has said, oh, yes, you can fake it during interviews. Only Martell. Why would you say that, Martell? Unless you're faking it, trying to make your ex-wife look like an abuser. Now, he said that Melody has the builder's license, but Martell, he did the building and he had the relationships within the industry. I am pretty sure that definitely Melody has a lot of business relationships in the real estate industry. One of them being Chris Fletcher, of course. Then there is their attorney, Dan Crane. He actually said, Martell said that, he accuses their former attorney, Dan Crane, these are Martell's words, of, messing around with Melody. He said that he told attorney Crane that he was going to sue him for alienation of affection. We've heard about, it's been at least a year now, where Nene Leakes' ex-boyfriend's wife was going to sue Nene for alienation of affection, I believe for $100,000. We never heard the outcome of that lawsuit. We also know that the singer Fantasia was sued for alienation of affection as well. So Martell actually threatened the attorney with that. So when I Googled Alabama attorney Dan Crane, I did find a gentleman who was based out of Birmingham, but it said that he was an injury lawyer. And I'm going to show you all his website in just a moment. Now, he said that Melody took his name off of the license, the builder's license, while he was working on a project. Tasha K tried to say that Carlos and Melody are best friends. Martell said he didn't know about that. And he says that because he knows that he is the favorite. He is the favorite. I have made videos about that where I feel like Carlos goes out of his way to try and protect Martell and really make him look better on the show. And so I'm getting the website up to show you all attorney Dan Crane. Now, where was I? Oh, Martell would not say that Melody gets to call the shots on set. He said that Ariane has his family eating healthy now. In my notes, I wrote down LOL. I thought that was hilarious. Tasha K asked about marriage with Ariane. Martell said that every woman deserves marriage. He said he really just counts the past 2 to 3 years with Ariane because that was after after Melody left him. And he even used the word courtship. He said that he has a courtship and that he loves Ariane. Tasha was kinda aware of the altercation between Martell and Mel's makeup artist Jay Taylor, but she was asking in the context, she asked Martell, was there a fight at the reunion? She just said at the reunion, kind of insinuating the most recent season 6 reunion. But because that was not the reunion where he was, in the physical altercation allegedly with Jay Taylor, Martell just answered no. Martell said that he is not filming right now. So I am convinced that Martell, he's fired at least for season 7. I think he's fired. He said it tonight during the interview that he is not filming. He said that he wants the OWN network and Carlos King on his side. That is ridiculous. Asking the network to pick a side when this is for allegedly revenge P charges. He tried to shade Melody's online business. Okay, so I talked about that before even looking down on my notes. I remembered it. Okay, so I am convinced that he is not filming right now. He said he's not filming right now. So to me, that is giving, fired, in my opinion, or at least for season 7, because I could see Carlos King trying to be merciful and say, at least for season 7. So this is Dan Crane, and this is him. I want to show, so this is another picture of him. This is who allegedly Martell is saying that, I think this is who Martell is saying was messing around with Melody. This is a Birmingham office, which is, I believe, an hour and a half away from Huntsville. But this is an injury lawyer. So I don't know, perhaps he has other specialties, from auto accidents and trucking accidents to on-the-job incidents, wrongful deaths, drug recalls, defective products, nursing home neglect, Social Security, and select family law disputes. We stand ready to advocate for your cause. So, I'm not sure. But when I Googled Alabama attorney Dan Crane, this is what I found. So I wanted to share that with you all. But definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think about Tasha K's interview with Martell Holt, him trying to make Melody look like an abuser and look mean, and how he did not want to say anything positive about her? And what do you think about him saying explicitly that he is not filming right now? Do you think he's fired? All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video. It's a free way of supporting Show Style and Spirit. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who want to hear some commentary on this interview. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I hope that you all are having a great week so far. If today was rough, I'm sure that tomorrow will be much better for you. Continue to think positive thoughts, stand in the mirror, say your affirmations, and everything will work out. It always does. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.